Do you ever crave a little variety? Do you ever feel like making something exotic or foreign? Well, I'm going to show you a guide for how to make a foreign type of food called a burrito. Now, I'm actually doing part of this in advance. I'll do the next part sometime in the future. But the first step is going to be making some flatbreads for the wrap. Now, these flatbreads don't rise very much, so I'm going to use just a very, very small amount of yeast. To make it properly foreign, I'm going to flavour it with mild chilli powder and garlic granules. And you see I've prepared with some red food dye, some vinegar, a lot of milk powder and some warm water. This buttermilk, it's all nice and stirred, so that should be nice and fine. And I was looking a little bit orange on the camera, but trust me, that is actually red. You see, this is also looking a bit red. I think it's just a lighting condition. So I also want to add a little bit of oil. Now, here comes the tricky part, because ideally I would be doing this. Okay, that's enough oil. I'd be doing this with two hands, but I need one hand to put the camera on. Okay, so also want just a little bit of salt. Again, ideally I'd have two hands for this, but okay. A little bit of salt. Again, this is a savoury flatbread. You can make sweet ones. It's going to be savoury. We also want to mix in some garlic granules. I'm going to mix in a mix too of plain flour and strong bread flour. Plain flour is a lot cheaper. It's why I only use pure bread flour, but so plain flour should be fine for the mix. So this doesn't need to rise tremendously. As I just a few garlic granules, and then damn it, it's hard to get the lid off. Excuse me. There we go. Lid there. Okay, so that should make it taste suitably spicy and foreign. I'm not a huge fan of spicy food myself, but we want this to be authentic. So I'll show you the other parts, but this part can be made well in advance, so it's a good thing to make a couple of them. Probably won't use all of them for burritos. I may just have some of them on their own, you know, for breakfast or something, but that's the advantage of these flatbread wraps I'm going to make. So as I said, that's 1 standard cup of buttermilk. Get a spoon, add a very small amount of yeast, not a lot of yeast, just a small amount of yeast. Okay, we've added the salt, added the yeast. We now want to get a larger spoon and we want to turn this on. I'm ideally looking to get about 135 grams of each. Should get to a total of 270 grams. Then I'm going to use this as a mixing, so once I've mixed it together, next video I'm going to knead them out and I'm going to fry them on a pan. And then we'll cut, and for you it won't seem like any time passes. Oh, that's a bit too much. Try to just scoop up flour here. 165. $150. $5 and $70. Yep, just scooping back flour, not scooping back any of the other ingredients. Yep, and now we on zero it again and do 135 of the strong white. Now, I'm going to have to stop the video because it'll take me 2 hands to knead it when I get the right amounts in. I'm going to put a bunch of other ingredients away just to give myself more space. But yeah, once I've kneaded it all, you'll see what I mean. You can mostly do this by hand, though I do have a rolling pin if that's needed. And of course, as always, you note that I put the liquid in first so that I don't get this stuck to the sides. I've used a clear bowl to make it easy to make sure I'm using all of the ingredients. I don't want to waste some on the side and get the ratios mixed off, so I don't want anything getting stuck to the bowl. 114, 114, yes, very close now. 133, just a little bit more. 133. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so I am now recording the process of frying the first of these. I've got 4 of them into little balls. I'm now heating up this to a low heat. Ooh. I'm just smooth over because I don't want it to tear. Oh, unfortunately, I think this one's a little bit torn. I maybe tried to get it too flat. Want it flat enough that I can still fold it later. So I'm just going to fry this, and as it gets more and more fried, I'm going to turn it over, then do the other side. Then I'll repeat the process for the other 4, but you really only need to see one to see how it's done. And these will be the wraps for our authentic exotic burrito, which comes from abroad. It is a food technology from the distant land across the Atlantic, the land of the cactus, where they used to cut people's hearts out. They still do, but now they do it for drugs rather than religion. Yep, I think, okay, it's starting to get a bit more solid, so I'm thinking, yeah. I'll wait till I start to hear more of a sizzle before I assume it's properly done on that side. Then I'll flip it over, do the other side. Then I'll do some more, and these will be my basic wraps. And then I'll cut, and it will be more time for me, but not very much time for you. And I'll cut to making the rest of the burrito. I generally cook food that is pretty traditionally English, or pretty traditionally British at least, that's been in Britain for a long time. Should do some more Scottish stuff. I've never been a big fan of haggis, but I should make some more Scottish food. I have lived in Scotland for a long time. I should do some things with turnips, honestly. But I thought this would be a fun chance to show something a bit more exotic from another part of the world. Okay. Is this starting to okay, give it a bit more. Give it a bit more. Should have a lovely reddish colour when it's done, which will show that it is spicy and exotic. Bit dull because I have to repeat it the other time, but the good thing is these will keep for a good couple of days. You can even freeze them if you want to and then use them later. I'm not going to use all of them for the burritos, might just eat a few separately. Might have one for breakfast or something. But no, this is convenient if you've got time to cook in advance. If you've got a family or something, you can cook a bunch of these in advance. Really cheap because you can use very cheap ingredients. Again, that was milk powder, water, vinegar, flour. A good portion of that flour was plain flour, so not expensive at all. A little bit of salt, a little bit of red food dye, and some basic flavourings. But honestly, you don't even need those unless you really want to go for the authentic, exotic, foreign flavour. Oh yeah, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but I'm starting to hear the sizzle, which means it'll be time to... Yep, it's... I think this is starting to fry properly. Oh, yep. Oh, bugger. Again, it'd be a lot easier to do this with two hands, but because I have to use one of them for the camera, there we go. Flipped it over. Small imperfection in it, but that's not the end of the world. Yeah. This is maybe a bit thicker than I'd like, but it's not terrible. Yeah, as I said, the big problem is this. I'm doing it. It'll be easier to do it with the other ones. The other ones will probably come out looking a lot nicer because I'll be able to use two spatulas and two hands. But yeah, you see this one coming away. I'm just gonna lay out a tea towel to put it down on when it's done. Leave it to cool, and then work on the next four. Yeah, starting to hear it sizzle. And you see, yeah, this is still soft enough to turn. We don't want it to get like really rigid or anything, because it's meant to be a wrap, not a hard shell. I believe the hard shells are called tortillas or tortillas. But this is just a wrap, so it's meant to be soft and pliant. So we're not trying to fry it into a solid, immobile mass. Okay. Yeah. This side looks about done. Seeing from the texture, that's about done. Just the other side. Now you can add other things like seeds and oats, and I probably will at some point do that. If I'm making a more British take on it, a more stodgy Northern European take on it for cold winters. But this is originally from a very tropical equatorial place, the land of the cactus on the other side of the Atlantic. So I'm doing it as they traditionally would have made it, hot and spicy and light. Okay. Okay, I think that is very nearly done. Yeah, it's starting to crisp up at the edges, so... I think that's first one done, and I will do the rest. Alright, it's the future, although not much time has passed from your perspective. So, here are the ingredients that are going to be in the burrito. We've got some lovely yellow label lettuce. Not going to use the whole bag, obviously. I'm going to cut some of the fat off. This probably won't use the entire thing, but I'm going to cut this chicken, which was also yellow label, just defrosted. And this yellow label gammon that I've cut a strip off of. Again, I'm not going to use this entire thing, just going to cut some strips onto it. And then this carrot, I'm going to grate and cut again into thin strips. I'm going to air fry it in my air fryer with garlic granules and salt for the gammon, and this paprika and onion chicken seasoning with some oil for the chicken. So air fry those once I've cut them into strips and seasoned them. And then I'm going to wrap the burrito wrapper around them when they're done, and that will be a burrito. Done in an authentic, spicy, foreign manner. Okay, so I've cut the ingredients into shape. I've got some oil here, and I've got the... whoops. Just take that back out, and I've got my... Yes, my air fryer pan's here, so let's do the chicken first. I just want to make sure that gets its seasoning on. And then we're going to put that in the larger one. As we heat these up. Then we use the salt and garlic for the gammon. Oh, one thing you need to be careful with the chicken, particularly handling raw chicken, don't let the raw chicken cook the other ingredients. I've been very careful here, and also I'm the only one eating it. But if you're preparing food for other people and you don't have to demonstrate it, you may want to keep your cooked chicken totally separate. Not just be careful they don't touch the other things, just be completely on the safe side and keep them on a different surface altogether. Because, you know, salmonella is not fun. So me though, I've just been careful to not expose them to anything that's not about to be cooked. So like I've made sure not to touch the carrots or the lettuce with them. Okay, so that is that. Now there's always a bit of a pain to get the lid off this thing. Where's it gone? Oh, there's it gone. There it is. Okay, here we go. Got the lid back on that, and some salt. So let's season these with a mix of salt and garlic and put them in the small air fryer. See, that's come away. I think I may have sliced into that a bit too much when I was cutting the fat away. As I said, I didn't use the entire slice, so a lot of that's come back in the fridge for some later food project, like maybe I'll make a small pie or something later, or just make a slightly less neat looking burrito later with the rest of it. As I said, I've got plenty of wraps. Okay. So maximum setting for both of those, although actually I don't want to overdo the chicken, so just dry my hand off a bit there. I'll just pop the chicken down a little bit, temperature, but I'll then set them both to 10 minutes and resume when that's done. Okay, they've just dinged, so just going to install the meat. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make yourself a delicious, exotic, savoury snack. Very just gonna get this there, and put that there, and put this here, and put this here. Okie dokie. Again, got to do it all one-handed because I'm holding a camera. Spicy.